Welcome to I Trust in God's Plans. This is a space for faith, reflection, and hope. I'll be sharing a series of true stories from my life. Moments where I can clearly see how God was present, even when I didn't recognize it at the time. Each story is a personal testimony of how I've come to trust God's plans, no matter how unpredictable life has been. The first story in this series is the Disappearance, a glimpse into a moment that changed my life forever, when I was kidnapped at the age of 4. Before I begin, thank you for being here. My hope is that through these stories, you will see how God's presence can be found, even in the darkest, most uncertain chapters of our lives. It happened on a quiet Sunday afternoon in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. My mom dressed me in my favorite outfit, a white top and a red skirt patterned with little animals. I was so excited to attend Mass with my aunt. I love the singing, the prayers, the sense of being part of something bigger than myself. What I didn't know was this day would take me far from home, far from safety, and far from the arms of my family. But what I also didn't know was that God was already working on a plan to bring me back. My aunt and I arrived to church early to find seats in the back so that she could keep an eye on her bicycle through the window. As Mass started, she saw some kids near her bicycle and asked me to go outside and watch it. I said yes. While I was sitting on the church steps, a teenage-looking girl came over. She was petite with straight shoulder-length hair and dressed in plain clothes. She asked if she could sit with me. I nodded. Then she offered to take me for a ride around the church courtyard on my aunt's bicycle. Before I could say anything, she lifted me onto the back of the bike and started pedaling. At first, we just rode in circles, but after a few rounds, she headed for the exit, and she didn't stop. I started crying. I begged her to turn back, but she didn't say anything. As the sun began to set, I held on tightly to her waist, not knowing where we were going. That night, we slept on the sidewalk. I cried for my mom until I couldn't cry anymore, and eventually, I fell asleep. Thank you for listening to this part of my story. What happened next wasn't easy. But even in the confusion, fear, and silence, I can now see that God was never absent. This is just the beginning of I Trust in God's Plans. If this story speaks to you, I hope that you will join me for the next chapter. And if you're walking through something uncertain right now, remember, even when we don't understand, God is already making a way. Until next time, may peace and faith carry you forward.